Welcome back. Today we have a broken Toyota Corolla. I know what you're thinking. A broken Toyota? How can that be? Well, it's true. Even Toyotas break sometimes. As a matter of fact, this part breaks all the time. It's kind of like Toyota's nemesis. Every manufacturer has a nemesis, a part that breaks on any model they make. You got Toyota's door lock actuators. For whatever reason, all of their smartest engineers were building their drivetrains, and the short bus ones were building their actuators. Every manufacturer has them. I mean, you got Ford, transmissions, BMW, any gasket that's meant to hold oil, GM, fuel pumps, Dodge, and you get the idea. So let's get our door lock actuator changed. And this is so common that when the customer calls me and says their door lock doesn't work, I just order the part and take a wild guess. We're gonna test it when we get it apart just to make sure that is the problem. But if it isn't the problem, I'll just send it back. But it's good to have it on hand so that I could just get it right back to them. And it is so common that I feel comfortable ordering it. This job actually started with a fob that didn't work. I changed the battery in the fob and I got the door locks to work on 3 of the 4 doors. Fortunately, the door that you want to work is the one that doesn't work. So that's how we got to where we are now. So just to get started, we're gonna put a window down. Doesn't matter which one, probably not this one because this is what we're working on, but one of the other doors because we're gonna be working on the door locks, and if you ever lock the keys in the car, it's a lesson you only need to learn once. So we're gonna put at least one window down on another door so that we don't lock the keys in the car. Because I know the internet has trust issues, I'm gonna prove to you the door lock does in fact not work. Okay, apparently it just needs a jump start to start working, but it stopped again. This is also my diagnostic testing. And since it works occasionally, that means we have a complete circuit. We could have a broken wire in the door, but since we haven't moved the door, it's highly unlikely. So let's get our actuator out of there because I'm pretty convinced that's our problem. Somebody's been here before. There's one screw behind the door handle. There's supposed to be a little cover over it, but somebody's been here before. Pop this little cover off of here. There's 2 screws hidden behind here. And if you're really daring, you could pull the armrest off and then pull the window switches out, but I don't like to break those, so I'm just going to leave them in there and unplug it from the back. Take our speaker off in the front. A little wiggle and pull and our door panel comes off. Lift it up. Now we can disconnect the cables for our handle and our lock. Now we can disconnect our window switches. This is why I didn't waste my time pulling them out of there, because you can't get to it with the switch still in the door panel. Plug our actuator. And now for the worst part of the whole job, the gooey fun stuff. Peel the water barrier off the door, just enough so we can get in there. Stuff our cables through the barrier. We got enough to get through that little opening there. Pull a little plastic cap out so we can get to our door lock for the outside. We can unscrew our outer door lock. There are some little tabs that hold that screw in place, but like the internet, I have trust issues, so I always like to make sure that it's going to stay in there. Because if it doesn't stay in those tabs, it ends up at the bottom of the door and somebody's got to go fishing. And I'm not a big fan of fishing. This one stayed in there. We got our lock out. One last check to make sure we don't have to go fishing. And we can unbolt our door latch / actuator. Now the only thing holding it in is the foam that adhered to the door. And it's free, kinda. Still trapped in there by the window channel. So we're gonna pull the screw out of the bottom of that. Just slide it off to the side. And our actuator just falls right out. So now we gotta swap over some parts. Our new one didn't come with those cables. At least, I don't think it did. I don't think they're gonna fit in that box, so I'm assuming. And they usually don't. Toss the plastic on the floor for the sea turtles. Make sure everything on our actuator looks the same. We don't want to find out later after it's in the door. Looks good. Swap over our cables and open a little door on this one. And just like our door panels, they pop out. lift up to unclip the cable end from that lever. Slide it down in our new one and clip it in there. Pop the other one out, and this one just pulls out. It's got a little ball at the end. Clip the ball back into the lever of the new one, clip our cable in, and close up the door. I transfer over one cable at a time just so I don't get them mixed up. Even though they are designed to only go in one position, they will go in any position if you do it wrong enough. Our actuator is all assembled. Time to put it down in the door. And this is the tricky part. Came out real easy, but gravity was helping us. So we gotta slip it down underneath that window channel. We have to slide it back up on the other side of the window channel. We got it in place, but we still have to connect the lever for the handle on the outside. So we're gonna drop it down just a little bit. The rod that comes down from the door handle just slides into that little lever in the back of the actuator. There's no clips that hold it in or anything. So we just gotta slide it back up in there and then start our screws and our door latch. They're self-centering, but they don't want to line up because we have fresh foam on that actuator. So take your time getting them started so you don't end up cross-threading them. Although if you cross-thread them, they're not coming back out of there. You just don't want to be the next guy. Once you got them all started, snug them all up, center that latch and tighten everything up. Check the handle, make sure that rod is still in there. We go ahead and put our window channel, window track, back in there. Tighten that down to manufacturer specs, just like all the other fasteners. Slip our cables through our water barrier. And stick our water barrier back up on the gooey fun stuff. Plug in our actuator. Now we can put our outside door lock in. Just goes directly into the actuator. So just got to get that rod lined up. Push it into the door and tighten up that screw that we managed not to drop into the door during this whole process. Click. Check it. Make sure we got it right. We've checked everything we can so far. Now we got to throw the door panel up, plug in our window switches, reconnect our cables for our handle and our lock. We got one little clip that wanted to stay in the door instead of the door panel. So we'll pop that out of the door, clip it back into our door panel where it belongs. We'll slide the window sweep on top of our door panel down into its little channel. Line everything up and smash it onto the door. Now we can test out our actuator. And it works. And we'll stop playing with it before we break it. We can throw the screws in behind our grab handle. Another one behind our door handle. Pop the little cap in to cover up our outside door lock screw. Plug in our speaker, clip that in, and put the cover on our grab handle. Check our lock a couple more times. Haven't broke it yet. Now we're going to try our window, make sure we got our channel back where it belongs. We didn't mess anything up when we had it apart. And the window works fine. We're all good there. All right, let's see if we have the new keyless entry option. There we go. All right, success. Our door lock works again. We didn't break anything in the process. That's all it takes to change the actuator on your Toyota Corolla. So if you want to do it yourself, just takes a couple tools, pretty simple job. And I said I was going to test it, but there was really no reason since it did actuate with the switch a little bit, time to time, and then failed, which means I had a complete circuit all the way to the actuator. So I just went ahead and changed it. That was our problem. Now that that's all done, I'm gonna go throw it on the lift. I got an oil change to do on it, and I have to change the purge valve. So I'm gonna do that. I don't need that lift for the purge valve, but the oil change, that's definitely nice. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, I couldn't resist this opportunity to trigger the internet with my use of Fram filters. But I fear the internet may have won, since Fram did file for bankruptcy, which means I get cheap Fram filters for a while.